Hello, my name is Representative Pam Powers Hanley, and I represent LD9 in Tucson in the Arizona House. Well, today is April 7, 2021. This is my first video this week because we really haven't been doing much this week. We did have a few votes on the floor today, and we had some proclamations. In fact, we had some very nice words from Representative Blackman about Child Abuse Prevention Month, which is April, and about today, April 7th, which is the National Day of Hope. So Representative Blackman said that we should keep in mind the next generation. I think this is something the Democrats have been talking about. Keep in mind the next generation, and we need to protect them. Well, I totally agree with that, but I think a statement like this is very disingenuous when you consider that the state of Arizona is worst in the nation for adverse childhood experiences. So what have adverse childhood experiences got to do with today? Well, today in the House, we voted on HB 2889 again. We passed it in the House a few weeks ago. It went to the Senate. They changed it. They still increased mandatory sentencing, but not by quite as much as the original bill. So again, I was the only person who voted no. And so why did I vote no on this bill again? This bill about child sexual abuse, including child sex trafficking? Well, I voted against it because we are creating this problem. The state of Arizona is creating adverse childhood experiences with our stingy policies. And so it is connected to the prison population because people in prison are far more likely to have been abused children in their youth. So when we ignore adverse childhood experiences and stay solidly at number 50 because we're doing absolutely nothing about it, we are ignoring housing insecurity, food insecurity, financial insecurity, sexual abuse, domestic violence, gun violence, loss of a parent, death of a parent, drug addiction, mental illness. We are ignoring all of these things and the impacts on children when they grow up. There's a huge impact on children when they are forced to live in poverty and forced to live with food insecurity and forced to live with a parent who is so down on their luck they've turned to drugs. But you know what? The state does nothing to help them. I have been pushing for the state to pay attention to maternal and child health and to pay attention to the impact of adverse childhood experiences on our population, and there has been no movement, nothing in 5 years, nothing. Every opportunity I had, I said, let's tackle poverty. Let's tackle adverse childhood experiences. Let's stop the school to prison pipeline. Let's stop filling our prisons with children who were abused in their youth. So 2889 is mandatory sentencing, but it does not solve the problem because it doesn't go down to the root of the problem, which is bad policy passed by the Arizona.Legislature, stingy policies, stingy TANF, stingy unemployment, starving the public schools, and ignoring the health problems of our children. Once the children are born, this pro-life state really doesn't care. We've said it many times on the Democratic side of the aisle. So with adverse childhood experiences, if you look at the general population, 64% of people in the United States have had at least one adverse childhood experience in their youth. 97% of prisoners have had at least one adverse childhood experience. And when you go to 4 adverse childhood experiences, 78% of prisoners have had 4 or more adverse childhood experiences in their lives. And the rest of the population, 16%. We are creating the problem with our policies. We are not solving it. And you know what? Every day when somebody gets up and asks God in the legislature for guidance, maybe you should think about the words of God. Jesus said that we should take care of all of the little children. We're not doing that. Jesus also said anytime a sinner asks for forgiveness, they are forgiven. 2889 has no second chances. It has no forgiveness. This is a bad bill. It's a Band-Aid that is about showboating for re-election. It's not about helping the children. We need to tackle adverse childhood experiences and fund public education and health care if we want to help children. But we're not doing that in the state of Arizona. We're just putting people in jail.